Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's review, we're going to be talking about the Infiniti FX45, and we're also going to get down with a little bit of a thing about why we don't have enough Infiniti models in 1/24 scale. Because I've searched and it seems right now we only have two diecast models in 1/24 scale. You find various Infiniti models, but a lot of them are not in 1/24 scale. But we'll talk about them, and I'm gonna also give you a list of what I think they should make in 1/24 scale. But with all that being said, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on your post notifications so that when I drop a fresh upload, you guys will be the first to catch the new video. Now that I got all that out the way, y'all know what it is. Let's get this. Alright guys, welcome back. And as you can see, I have two FX45s right here in front of you on the table. I didn't know they came in red, but that burnt orange, I love that burnt orange color that it comes in. It also comes in black. I've seen it in dark blue as well, also, and in silver. But those are the other colors that I seen. But I saw that red one and I felt like I needed to have it because this pearl white one I already had. I just needed another one to go with it. So I went on and picked up that red one. But this is the FX45, which was between 2003 and 2008, which was its high-performance luxury crossover SUV, which was known for its sports car handling, muscular V8 power, and unconventional styling. It used a 4.5-liter V8, which made roughly anywhere between 315 to 320 horsepower. And it also had a 5-speed automatic and all-wheel drive. It was described as a hot rod SUV due to a 0 to 60 miles per hour time in around 6.3 seconds. So, you know, that's pretty much what they said about that. It also had between 329 to 335 pound-feet of torque. The platform was based on the front midship FM platform, which was shared with the Nissan 350Z and the Infiniti G35. The fuel economy gets anywhere between 15 city and then 19 highway, which ain't really nothing. So the design of it was aggressive, low roofline design, which featured 20-inch wheels. It came standard with 20-inch wheels, premium materials, standard leather, heated seats, and optional aluminum trim. The early models, optional navigation and rear camera systems. The later models, which was 2006 and forward, offered lane departure warning, Bluetooth, and intelligent cruise control. And it had a sport-tuned suspension with very little body roll, designed for paid performance rather than off-roading. The pros and cons, it was very fast for its era, highly reliable, unique styling, engaging driving experience. The cons was basically it was a stiff ride, limited headroom, restricted cargo capacity compared to rivals, and heavy fuel consumption. You know, because you only had 19 highway. So what can you really do with that? The '04 version, they added the 300 watt Bose audio standard stereo with updated navigation. The '05 introduced a dark chrome grille and updated interior aluminum trim. The '06 model had a facelifted front end, added 5 more horsepower, making it 320, and made Bluetooth, a rear camera, and a sunroof standard. So the FX45 set the stage for modern crossover coupes and is considered a pioneer in the performance SUV market, often compared to the Porsche Cayenne and the BMW X5 of the same era. Okay, so that is a little bit about the FX45. Now let's get down to the diecast version of this. So, I like these FX45s, and I feel like my concern is that there weren't enough Infinitis in the diecast sector in 1/24 scale. And as you can see, I liked these FX45s when they first came out, and it had a nice little sound to them. I thought these was pretty cool cars for their time and when they came out. Now, if you remember, there were 2 versions of the taillights for the FX45. Now, you know they had one with the solid red taillights, and then, you know, they later on had the one with the clear LED taillights in the back. So they definitely had changed the taillights later on. It wasn't a solid red anymore. It was like a see-through. It was a clear color. I always liked the grille of the FX45. And there's the engine on the inside of it. It's got the Infiniti logo right there. You can see the V8 sitting on top of the engine cover. You know, got those same wheels that Infiniti would have on their car. You know, the back doesn't open. As you can see, it says FX45 right there. It's got New York tags, and it also has the Infiniti emblem right there above the license plate. And it has the chrome roof rack. You know, I like the pearl white color on it. It also has fog lights. So as you can see, this was made by Maisto. The 2005 Infiniti FX45. You can see is 1/24 scale. These are the only scales I commit myself to. These are the only scales I enjoy getting. So these are the only ones I have in my collection. And as you can see, this is the red one. It's the same thing, so we don't have to go through the whole ordeal. I just want you to see how it looks in red. But it's really nice. It needs a little touch up right here on the mirror. I think it needs a touch up on both sides. Yeah, it needs a touch up on the mirror on both sides. Other than that, it's a good looking car. The paint is pretty good on it. You know, there's no scratches or anything like that. It looks really good, you know. So, there's really nothing else to really point out about this. You can see the Infiniti emblem a little more better on this one because it's a darker color. But other than that, you can see that the FX45 is a really nice car. Now, if you were to get the burnt orange FX45, that one would have the peanut butter brown interior. So, I noticed that one had the peanut butter brown interior. So, if you were to get a burnt orange FX45, that one would have the burnt orange interior. I love the burnt orange one. I've been trying to get one of those. So I still might try to chase one. Even though I got 2 of them right now, I still might try to chase that burnt orange one. because I think that one is a fabulous color. I love that color. For some reason, that burnt orange color is really nice. So I think at some point I might jump at the opportunity to try to score a burnt orange FX45. But let's get into the topic of this conversation, because I feel like these Infinitis here should not be the only thing that you can get in 124 scale, because there's only one other car that they have in 124 scale, and that is this, the G35. Now, we all know Jada made the G35, and the thing is, with the G35, it's a really nice car, you know, and it's very popular, but it's also very expensive too. Now, these cars, if you go on eBay, these things start anywhere around $100. Okay, people are starting the price of these G35s at $100, so they are not cheap. Okay, and there are a lot of them online. So you're going to find a lot of these G35s online, but they cost, okay? So I found that these cost a lot of money. All right, but let's look at some notable mentions here. Okay, so I found this Infiniti QX56. It is die-cast, but it's a 132. So I feel like this one right here is it could have been made, as you can see. So they only did this in a smaller size, which is a shame, because I like the way this looks. You know, they could have did this in a bigger size. And let's check out another. This here is the FX50. This one is a 143. So here's another Infiniti diecast, but it's not a 124. This one just happens to be smaller than the QX56 we just looked at. And this one's a 143. So this one is even smaller. So, you know, like I said, again, it's a shame that Infiniti does not have a lot of diecasts under their brand in 124 scale. And it's a shame, because it should be more than just the FX45 and the G35, okay? Now let's look at another one. I found this one, a Q45, which is one of my cars that I actually have on my list. But this Q45 right here, the first gen, like, it's a 143, the same size as that FX50. See, this is even a smaller model. But like I said, I'm thinking in terms of, why wasn't this made in a 124 scale? You know, and the thing is, you know, it's better to be able to have cars like this in different varieties of sizes and stuff. And that's the only thing I don't understand. So there's a conundrum surrounding things like this, you know, and just having the G35 as your only other 124 diecast metal car in that scale, it's a travesty and a shame. I mean, these diecast companies really need to get it together. If you're going to start making cars from a specific auto brand, start making more than just 2 cars from that brand. You know, like, make more. I mean, it doesn't help us that you only have the FX45 and the G35. Give us more. You know, okay. So I'm going to name off 5 cars or SUVs or crossovers which I think should be made in 124 scale. Okay. So my number 5 would be the Infiniti Q50. The Q50 to me is one of the models that I believe should definitely be made in 124 scale. It's a nice 4-door and it looks good. You know, I've seen the Q50 out on the street, and the Q50 is a really nice car, as you can see in this picture here. This Q50, it has a really nice look, nice 4-door, and I do believe that something like this really should hit the diecast market as a 124 scale. Now, from that, let's go to number 4. My number 4 would be the QX50. The QX50. No, the QX60, I'm sorry. The QX60. Now, the QX60 is the crossover SUV, and I love the QX60. The QX60 is a really nice truck, and I feel like this is also one that should be made. Now, looking at this picture from the rear, just look at how amazing that truck looks. You know, I like the way this QX60 looks. Here's another one of a side shot of it. Very nice looking truck. Here's another angle of it from the rear. Like, it's a beautiful SUV. And, you know, I feel like trucks like this also should be able to come into the fold to be done as a 124 scale. All right. Now, let's go to number 3. My number 3 would be the Infiniti Q60 Coupe. The Q60 Coupe. Now, the Q60 Coupe is fly. Now, if you look at this picture, this gray one here, this Q60 Coupe is fly. I love this. I love the sleek look of this. This would look great in a 124 scale. And let's take a look at this black one here from the rear. That black on black, I mean, that looks really slick. Imagine a 124 scale Q60 Coupe with this black on black like this. Like, as sleek as it look, this would look great in anyone's collection, really, as a 124 scale. I believe it. I truly believe it. Now, let's go to, that was number 3. Okay. Let's go to number 2. My number 2 would be this, the Infiniti Q45. Now, remember, I was just saying that I had this on my list because we was just looking at a 143 scale of the Q45. Now, this is the OG right here. This is the OG. Now, this is what started all, the Q45. The Q45, I've always loved the Q45. I love that side angle of the Q45. Here's another side shot of it, also seeing the back of it. I love the Q45. It was just something about the way it looked that just kind of made you gravitate towards it. This would be a nice 124 scale. I love this as a 124 scale. And here's another shot of it right here, riding down you know, doing, speeding down a highway. But my thing is, this would look great as a diecast. Now, I will say this. What Infiniti did do is, well, not going to say Infiniti. Well, what they did is they also had this right here. Now, this Q45 is a 124 scale, but it's a plastic model. It's one of the ones you put together. See, me, I'm thinking in terms of something more or less die-cast. Metal, with opening doors, opening hood or trunk, things like that. I'm thinking on those type of terms. So this Fujimi Infiniti Q45 was one. Here's another one right here where you can actually, where there's two versions of the Q45, where one, it's the Q45, and then on the other side, it's also called the President. So you can make it either or. I would prefer the Q45 because I like the Q45. The President is not so bad, but it's not a Q45. It didn't have that. It doesn't have the Q45 look in the front, the Infiniti logo and all of that stuff. So I would prefer the Infiniti Q45. But this is another plastic put together model in 124 scale. I'd rather have this in die-cast metal. So that is the deal with that. Now let's go to number one. Number one is more than likely the one I would love to have the most. And that is this one. The Infiniti QX80. Yes, the QX80. It's the big boy. The big boy, the QX80. We just looked at a QX56 that was a 143 scale. No, it was a 132 scale. But it was not a 124. That's the whole deal. If you had a 124 scale of the QX80, this would be a bad SUV. And I can see it right now. I can see this thing and see how good this looks. By just looking at this picture here that you see on the screen, can you imagine having a QX80 in your collection on a 124 scale with this look? Let me show you a side profile of it. It reminds you of the Nissan because the Nissan has the Armada. Here's a front picture. I would love to have that in my collection. It's a shame that they don't have it, though. And as much as, and as far as Infiniti has come, I just don't understand why these diecast companies hasn't caught up. It's like they're still lagging behind and not making a lot of these models that they should make. The ones that I think in my mind is going to make the money, because a lot of these models that you don't make is the ones that you more than likely going to make the money off of. But the thing is, you don't give it a shot. And so we'll never know because they don't get made. And this QX80, along with all the other ones that I listed, is just a prime example of what, is being missed out on. So, number one, the Infiniti QX80. My number two was the Infiniti Q45. My number three was the Infiniti Q60 coupe. Number 4 was my Infiniti Q60. No, Q50. Sorry. Was the Q50. The Q50 4-door. I get these names confused because there's so many Qs and QX and 60 and Q60 and QX60. Like you get all of this confused because all of them uses like the same letter and you know the numbers and all that stuff. They kind of need to deviate from the numbers and kind of give these cars a name, because a lot of times these numbers they get you so confused. You got the QX50, you got the QX60, the QX6, the QX60, the QX50, the Q50, the Q60, you know, and like it's so confusing. But my number 4 was the Q50. And my number 5 was the QX60. So those are my 5 that I would love for these diecast companies to make in 1/24 scale. Because like the ones I showed you, they're very off because the models are not 1/24 scale. As you can see, they're much smaller because they're 143s, 132s, and things like that. So, you know, you really can't do too much as far as having something that small in your collection. I only specialize in 1/24. I did come across some Infinitis that were 118, but that's not my scale of choice. I am a 1/24 guy through and through. So everything I look for has to be on a 1/24 scale. You know, at least between 1/24 and 1/27. Somewhere in there. No more than that. But mainly 1/24. So having these cars on different scales, 132, 143, it doesn't help me because it's not on the same scale as what I'm looking for. So I would love for them to make those 5 models in 1/24 scale and make them as a model. Like, these would be so nice. You know, it's just a shame that they only got the FX45 and the G35 in diecast form of 1/24 scale. I feel like it should be more than that. And it's a shame. It's really a shame. You know, I don't know what decisions that they make when it comes to picking and choosing which models they decide to make and which ones they decide not to make. You know, but they should. I mean, look at this FX45. I mean, it's a beautiful truck. Like they did this thing very nice. Very nice. You know, and I like it. You know, and the thing is, if you're one of those people, you could like put like custom wheels on this FX45 and things like that, which I'm probably thinking about doing. But you know, you could put some custom wheels on these on this truck, you know, and make it look nice. But I just think it's a travesty that they only got 2 diecast models in 1/24 scale under Infiniti, and it's sad. It really is. You know, I don't know, guys. It's a travesty. Yeah, I feel like they need to do more, with these diecast models, and they need to varietize them. You know, they only limit what they make, and like I said, I don't know what decisions goes into when they start to deliberate on which type of models they're going to make for a certain brand. But you know, it's a shame that Infiniti does not have anything more than just the FX45 and a G35 in 124 scale in diecast form. And it's sad because you have one that is a Maisto product and the other that's strictly Jada, you know, and that's sad because it shouldn't be just those two. You should have more than that. I've seen companies, diecast companies that has done various models under one brand. You know, it wasn't just this one car, and and they, brought out another one, and then that was it. Like, I have a collection here where I can pull out various different cars under one brand, and it's not the same car. Like, I can pull out maybe 5, 6, 7 cars under that one brand, and they all different cars. And that's what Infiniti needs to do. Like, it's a thing of, are you guys going to continue to just stick with having only 2 models under your brand in 124 scale in diecast form? Or is somewhere down the line, do you guys plan to put something else out there that we can get a hold of, something new, something better that we can get a hold of, rather than just sticking to the same old 2, Guys, let me know in the comments if you feel the same way. Because I'm quite sure that it's some of you out there who wish that there were certain models that you saw on the street or saw that you wish were in diecast form. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks like this. I'm quite sure that it's a few of you guys out there that think the same way I'm thinking. Because a lot of times you like to see your favorite cars in your favorite scale. You know what I mean? So let me know in the comments, guys, if you feel the same way that I feel about this. And it doesn't have to be Infiniti, okay? It does not have to be Infiniti. I'm just saying, do you feel like this about any brand in general? There might be a car that you wish they made in 124, maybe not just 124 scale. It could be in another scale that you wish they made in another scale that they don't make at all. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Also, let me know in the comments what you think about these FX45s from Infiniti. I think they're beautiful trucks. But you guys let me know how y'all feel about them. I mean, I treasure them because, that's just one of only 2 diecast models that Infiniti has. So you would think that these FX45s will be expensive, but believe it or not, these FX45s are very affordable online. It's nothing like the G35. I don't even own a G35. Those G35s run about $100 or more. Okay, I can get these FX45s much cheaper, online. But the G35s, they're going for a ton of money, and a ton of money is not what I'm about to spend on a G35. I'm sorry, I ain't gonna be able to do it. I'm just not that desperate, or I'm just not that desperate for that particular car. If I spend some money it's going to be on something that's definitely worth it. And I do have something that is coming to the channel, guys, that is definitely worth what I spent. Definitely worth the money. Definitely worth what I spent for it. Because this is something that is ultra rare. I mean, ultra rare. And I found it at a great price. You're not going to believe what I came across. And we are going to check it out. And it'll probably be a couple of weeks before I do another video, because I'm going out of town this weekend. So I'll be gone for a couple of weeks. So I won't be doing no videos for a couple of weeks, maybe till I, not till I get back in town. So you guys take care, enjoy yourselves, and I will see you in the next episode.